General Hospital is setting up a quiet but dangerous power struggle, and it does not revolve around gunshots or courtroom verdicts. It revolves around leverage. At the center of it all is Alexis Davis, a woman who values principle but is now cornered by people who understand exactly what she wants most. This storyline is not really about Willow's freedom or Drew's injuries. It is about how far Alexis might be pushed before she stops playing defense and starts tearing everything down. And if that happens, the fallout could reshape multiple relationships at once. Today, we are breaking down why helping Willow gain custody might be the very thing Alexis never wanted to do, how Drew's betrayal changes the moral equation, and why Alexis's next move could destroy both Drew and Willow at the same time. The original deal and why it matters. To understand the stakes, we need to revisit the original agreement between Alexis and Drew. The deal was simple in theory. Alexis would step back, and in return, she would regain visitation rights with Scout. This was not a casual arrangement. For Alexis, access to Scout represents emotional survival. Scout is family, legacy, and redemption all rolled into one. At the time, Willow was still under legal pressure, and Alexis helping her was not yet a demand. The deal worked because it aligned with Alexis's internal code. She could accept a compromise if it meant staying connected to her granddaughter. That balance is now gone. Willow is free, legally cleared. The expectation would be that Drew honors the agreement. Alexis should, logically, be seeing Scout again. But this is where Drew reveals his true nature. He is no longer negotiating from fairness. He is negotiating from control. Drew's strategic betrayal. Drew's shift is not impulsive. It is calculated. He understands Alexis's emotional vulnerability better than almost anyone. He knows exactly how badly she wants to see Scout. That knowledge becomes his weapon. By possibly changing his mind and threatening to maintain the visitation ban, Drew positions himself as the gatekeeper. He does not need to raise his voice or make overt threats. The implication is enough. Help Willow secure custody or remain cut off from Scout. This is why Drew's behavior reads as dangerous rather than simply selfish. He is exploiting familial love to force legal and moral compliance. That is not negotiation. That is coercion. And it places Alexis in an impossible position. Why helping Willow is a line Alexis never wanted to cross. On the surface, helping Willow gain custody might look like a good deed. Willow is free. She wants her children. What is the harm? The harm lies in what Alexis knows and what she is being asked to ignore. Alexis is a lawyer. She understands precedent, evidence, and long-term consequences. Helping Willow now would mean endorsing a version of events that Alexis herself may not fully believe. It also means aligning herself with Drew's narrative, which increasingly benefits him alone. More importantly, Alexis does not like being forced. Every time someone tries to corner her morally, her instinct is to resist. So while she might comply initially, that compliance would come with resentment. And resentment, in Alexis's case, tends to explode rather than fade. The pressure cooker, obedience or rebellion. At this point, Alexis has two options. She can obey Drew's demand and help Willow secure custody, hoping Drew follows through on restoring visitation. Or she can refuse, triggering open conflict. If she obeys, she loses something internally. Her sense of autonomy, her belief that she is acting ethically. That loss does not disappear. It builds. If she rebels, she risks losing Scout entirely. That is the pressure point Drew is counting on. But here is where the story gets interesting. Alexis is not someone who breaks quietly. If she feels pushed far enough, she does not just say no. She counterattacks. Why exposing the truth could be Alexis's nuclear option. The most intriguing possibility is Alexis choosing a third path. Not obedience, not outright refusal, but revelation. There is still a truth hanging in the air. Willow shot Drew. Even if the courts cleared her, that truth has not emotionally settled. Legal innocence does not erase personal betrayal. Alexis revealing that truth, especially directly to Drew, could fracture the alliance he believes he controls. This is where the timing becomes critical. It may be too late to use that information legally. Willow is acquitted. The case is closed. But emotionally, it is explosive. If Drew hears the full truth framed not as a legal defense, but as a personal act of violence, his perception of Willow could shift instantly. She stops being someone he protects and becomes someone who betrayed him at the most literal level. The ripple effect on Michael. This revelation does not just impact Drew and Willow. It also has implications for Michael. Right now, Michael exists in a shadow of suspicion. Even if unspoken, the question of who shot Drew lingers. If Alexis openly states that Willow was responsible, Michael is hypothetically removed from that cloud. That shift matters. It reframes Michael not as a potential aggressor, but as collateral damage in someone else's choices. Alexis knows this, and protecting Michael may be another motivation pushing her toward truth rather than silence. Why Drew underestimates Alexis. Drew's biggest mistake is assuming Alexis will prioritize access over integrity indefinitely. He sees her desperation, but not her breaking point. Alexis has a long history of reacting strongly when backed into a corner. Her anger is not chaotic. It is focused. If she feels betrayed by Drew after complying, her retaliation would be surgical. She could dismantle the trust between Drew and Willow. She could expose the moral rot beneath Drew's ultimatum. She could even make both of them question whether they are allies or just mutual liabilities. This is why Drew's strategy is possibly short-sighted. He is winning leverage in the moment, but creating an enemy with nothing left to lose. Willow's vulnerability in all of this. Willow may believe she is on stable ground. She is free. She has Drew's support. She is pursuing custody. But her position is fragile. Her acquittal does not equal universal forgiveness. And if Alexis turns against her, Willow loses a powerful advocate. Worse, she gains a powerful adversary who knows exactly which truths to deploy and when. Willow's greatest risk is assuming Alexis's compliance equals loyalty. It is not. It equals patience. And patience has limits. The inevitable explosion. Eventually, something gives. Either Drew refuses to restore visitation even after Alexis helps Willow, or Alexis reaches her emotional limit before that point. When that happens, Alexis's anger is likely to surface publicly, not as a breakdown, but as a calculated dismantling of the narrative Drew and Willow are relying on. She could force Drew to confront the reality of being shot by someone he now protects. She could force Willow to face the consequences of that truth beyond the courtroom. And she could do it in a way that leaves both of them exposed. Conclusion. The stakes and the final prediction. This storyline is not about custody alone. It is about power, truth, and the cost of manipulation. Drew believes he is in control. Willow believes she is safe. Alexis knows better. The most likely outcome is not quiet compliance. It is confrontation. Alexis will not accept being used indefinitely. And when she pushes back, she will do it in a way that hurts where it matters most. My final prediction is this. Alexis will initially play along, possibly helping Willow just enough to test Drew's sincerity. When Drew inevitably overplays his hand, Alexis will reveal the truth about the shooting, shattering the alliance between Drew and Willow and freeing Michael from suspicion in the process. And when that happens, Drew will realize too late that the person he tried to control was the one person capable of destroying everything he built. That is the real conflict, and it is only just beginning.